We finally made it. Game week is officially here, and these are my SEC football power rankings entering week one of the 2025 college football season. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast, where we get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. And as always, we are powered by our friends over at FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today and get started with $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Once again, that's FanDuel.com/SECU to get $250 in bonus bets today. We finally made it. Kickoff is officially here in just a short few days. The 2025 SEC football season will begin. That means everyone's favorite reason to argue on the internet is officially back on a weekly basis, that being my weekly SEC football power rankings. We're going to unveil those in just a moment. I'll walk you through 16 through 1 and explain, but let me give some background here. So, the SEC football power rankings, the way that I come to the conclusion on these, a lot of it has to do with who I think right now would win a football game on a neutral site. That goes a lot into it. Also, just my overall feelings on the teams. And I've gotten a lot of comments already on social media about these. Well, you picked this game in this week. You picked this upset. How can this team be here and this team be here in the power rankings, but you have this team beating this team at some point in the season? Guys, believe it or not, college football is not a perfect science. Picking games is not a perfect science. We live in a world, and especially in a conference, where virtually anyone can beat anyone on any given Saturday. So just keep that in mind as we go through these on a weekly basis. But with that being said, without further ado, once again, these are my power rankings entering week one of the 2025 SEC football season. We start at number 16. And guys, I will say this too. If you've been following for a little while, you go back to SEC Media Days in Atlanta, Georgia, back in say middle of July or so. These haven't changed a ton. There have been some teams that have flip-flopped here and there. My feelings and opinions on some of these teams have shifted for some of these clubs, but not all of them, right? So this is going to look pretty similar to what you saw, I don't know, about a month and a half or so ago. But at number 16, I've got the Kentucky Wildcats. Guys, I think Kentucky's going to be the worst team in the SEC this year. I think there's actually a pretty good chance, and I haven't locked in my pick yet. You guys will get that later this week. I think there's a good chance they lose to Toledo week one. I think maybe I am going with Kentucky. That was in my game-by-game predictions. I did give them the nod over Toledo, but it worries me. I don't think they win a conference game this year. Maybe Mark Stoops and company can prove me wrong, but I think Kentucky, there's no program in the conference right now that's got less juice. 16 for me feels very obvious. It feels like the right answer. And again, that's why I have the Cats at the bottom of this list. Number 15, I've got Mississippi State. Mississippi State fans, rejoice. You were not last in the SEC power rankings. You know, that said, I think State's going to be improved this year. I'm excited to see how Blake Shapen looks coming off the injury. You know, I think you've got a fantastic running back room with Devon Booth and Fluff Bothwell. And, I think year two of the Jeff Lebby era is going to be better. Can we win a SEC game? Can the defense literally slow anyone down? Notice I didn't say stop anyone. Slow anyone down. That is the goal. That is the objective. I mean, if they can do that, guys, at some point, heck, it's been widely publicized. I picked Mississippi State to pull off the upset against Tennessee. I think they're going to get somebody. But still, obviously, it is a big-time rebuild for Lebby. I think it's going to take 2 or 3 more years to really get this roster to SEC caliber. But he also needs to win in the meantime because folks are going to get restless down there in Starkville. Again, I got the Dogs at 15 going into kick. Number 14, I got the Arkansas Razorbacks. Guys, this is one that's really interesting, and I hope Arkansas finishes a couple spots above this when it's all said and done. But I just question the personnel. I love Taylor Green at quarterback. I think he in year 2 of Bobby Petrino should be a lot of fun to watch. I think there's going to be moments this season where you cut on the tape and you watch the games and you're like, man, this dude's a top 5 quarterback in the league. But I think some of the inconsistencies that haunt him, and it's really not all his fault, I just don't think they've got guys around him to really help him. Defensively, love Travis Williams, their DC. But all in all, guys, I mean, I do think this is going to be the final season of Sam Pittman in Fayetteville. I think it's run its course. I think getting to 7-5 or 8-4 really feels like a pipe dream for this group. I don't have a lot of hope and optimism. Certainly, there are opportunities all throughout the schedule, but I don't have a lot of optimism when it comes to Arkansas football this season. I've got them at number 14. Number 13, I've got the Vanderbilt Commodores. Here's the thing with Vandy. Love Diego Pavia. Love Eli Stowers. I think Cedric Alexander's a really solid running back. And I think defensively they'll be salty. They still lack depth at some key positions and some key spots. I think to go toe-to-toe with the very best in the SEC on a weekly basis. Maybe Diego Pavia uses what I just said as fuel and proves me wrong. I'm not doubting him, guys. I'm really not. I'm doubting the offensive line. I'm doubting some of the other playmakers. I'm doubting the depth on defense. Again, I got Vandy getting back to a bowl game. I think they're going to be a really solid team this year, but in a really, really tough league, top to bottom, that is just, the middle of this league is so good. Somebody's got to be at 13. That somebody for me is the Vanderbilt Commodores. Again, they will have an opportunity right out of the gate, essentially in week 2, if you will, to prove me wrong when they travel to Blacksburg to take on Virginia Tech, and then you're off and running in the season. Guys, number 12, I've got the Missouri Tigers. I don't know if there's a team that may finish more spots higher than I think Mizzou probably will when it's all said and done than Mizzou. I don't know that there is, because I think Mizzou is going to be really solid this year. Excuse me. One of the biggest reasons I've got MIZ at number 12. Guys, you go into week 1 and you don't know who your quarterback is. Is it Sam Horn? Is it Bo Prabula? Really intrigued in that Central Arkansas game on Thursday night to see what both those guys look like. Obviously, you have Kansas in week 2, who, by the way, has already played a game, and they are 1-0. But I think Missouri is going to finish ahead of this. I would be really surprised if they didn't. I think they are very underrated coming into the season. But right now, I don't have answers at quarterback. So for that reason, right now, I've got MIZ at 12. At number 11, I've got the Tennessee Vols. Again, a big opportunity for them out the gate as they take on Syracuse. What does Joey Aguilar look like in the season opener? Does Boo Carter play in the game? Obviously, I think we expect defense to be the strength for the Vols. And again, like you're seeing, the middle of the pack, guys, and I'll go ahead and spoil it, 5 through 12. You could even maybe throw 5 through 13, but definitely 5 through 12. You could put these in any order, man. I think this middle of the pack, middle of the league, is really going to beat up on each other this year. It's so good. There's so much depth. Again, though, I've got Tennessee at number 11. Again, excited to see what Joey Aguilar looks like in that season opener. How does the offensive line look? A little bit of a retooled offensive line. Who are our playmakers on the outside? Who's filling the void of a Dylan Sampson? You got a couple guys there, but who's that dude that's going to step up? Is there a bell cow back in that room, right? Is it going to be more running back by committee? And again, they get a game against Syracuse where it should be an opportunity to build some confidence and get some answers, but a tricky game. It's a little bit of a tricky game. I don't think Syracuse can keep up with Tennessee, but a little bit of a tricky game. Season openers, you never know. Tennessee right now, I've got at number 11. At number 10, I've got the Auburn Tigers. Huge game on Friday, buddy. Huge game. I don't know if anybody needs a win in week 1 more than Hugh Freeze does when they travel down to Waco to take on the Baylor Bears. Like I mentioned, guys, it is really easy to fall in love with this roster. Really easy. You look at what they brought in. I think Jackson Arnold, I'm a Jackson Arnold believer in what I think he can be, the skill set that he has. Wide receiver, they're loaded. I think running back, they're going to be pretty solid, even with losing Jarquez Hunter. I think the offensive line will be good. And then defensively, under DJ Durkin, I trust him. They're going to put out a really, really solid defensive product on a week-in, week-out basis. What does Hugh Freeze give me? Again, they're down here at 10. They could be higher if I had any trust and faith in Hugh Freeze to get the most out of this group. I just don't right now. So we'll see. That Baylor game is massive. That Baylor game, I don't think it's overstating that. I don't think it's crazy to call it the most important game of Auburn's 2025 season. I've got them at 10. They are going to be a really interesting team in these power rankings on a weekly basis, because if it's anything like years past, the fluctuation is going to be all over the place with them. At number 9, I've got the Ole Miss Rebels. Guys, Ole Miss, another team I feel really good about. I think they're underrated. I trust Lane Kiffin. I think he's risen the floor of this program to a point to where I don't know why people aren't putting more respect on Ole Miss. I get it. They lost a lot defensively. I totally understand that. But I trust Pete Golding, their DC as well. And I think they've got some guys in there. They obviously went to the portal heavy yet again. I think they brought some guys in, talking to them. They're really excited about, they think can fill some voids they might have. Offensively, I don't worry about them. I think Austin Simmons is going to be a star in this league. I think they've got big-time dudes at the wide receiver position. Caden Lee is back, brought in a couple transfers. I think the offensive line's a question. That'll be a little bit of a work in progress, no doubt. But I like this Ole Miss team a lot. Not going to surprise me at all if they finish in our final power rankings, a couple spots ahead of this. I think they're a dark horse to make the college football playoff, being totally honest. So I got Ole Miss in that 9 spot. Guys, before we go any further and we talk our top 8, I want to tell you about our friends over at FanDuel, because as always, we are brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Guys, on Tuesday, August the 26th, that's literally tomorrow, it is FanDuel Futures Day, a new holiday for football fans. It's 24 hours of deals on all of your football season predictions. So take a flyer on the MVP race, whether it's Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow. Crown your champion in August. Maybe it's the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Lions, the Packers, whoever it might be, or parlay your division winner dark horses. Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, and your odds. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. Make sure you sign up over at FanDuel.com/SECU. That's FanDuel.com/SECU. FanDuel, play your game. Guys, let's get back into it. At number 8, I've got the Oklahoma Sooners. This is a team, I don't know that a team has risen in stock more for me over the last month, month and a half, 2 months than what Oklahoma has. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. It may blow up in my face. They may go 6-6, 5-7, fire Brent Venables, but you guys have probably seen at this point, I've got them at 9-3. I think they're going to be a team that pushes for the college football playoff. I believe in DNA when it comes to a program. I just don't see Oklahoma not getting back to winning ways. You can only hold a program with that kind of pedigree down for so long. I think with what they added on the offensive side, obviously at quarterback with John Mateer, his OC, Ben Arbuckle coming over, I think is massive. Jaden Ott, I think, was a really underrated piece at running back. Deion Burks on the outside. They need the offensive line to come together and block somebody. That's what it comes down to, right? If the offensive line is solid, I think the offensive stuff, I think everything else offensively takes care of itself. And I think defensively, I trust Brent Venables. I do. I trust Brent Venables on the defensive side. I think they're going to be fine on that side of the football. R. Mason Thomas, Kip Lewis, 2 of the most underrated players in this league in regards to disruptors, in regards to playmakers. I think they're going to be more than fine on defense. So again, number 8 for me, Oklahoma. Number 7, I've got the Florida Gators. We got great news on Monday afternoon. DJ Lagway is healthy. He will start in game 1 against Long Island. I think that's a big deal. That is a very big deal, because if you tell me right now, guys, DJ Lagway is healthy in every single game, healthy enough, right? Nobody's 100%. We get 2/3 of the way through the season, but he's healthy enough, right? He is healthy. He is playing. You tell me he does that in every game. I had Florida 8-4 in the preseason. I'm giving them another win. I really am. I really genuinely think some of my skepticism for Florida came from the fact, can I trust this guy to be healthy throughout the entire season? If I know he's there, Florida is absolutely a realistic college football playoff contender. I love what they have on both lines of scrimmage. I think they could vouch for maybe having the best offensive line in the conference, certainly one of the best. Lagway, again, he's a freak. We know about him. We know what he can do. He's got a lot to prove, don't get me wrong, because he's got a lot of doubters out there, but I love his game. Again, defensively, I love what they have in the front 7. I think they're going to be really good there. So Florida at 7 for me. They are another one of these teams, guys, once again, could finish 3 spots higher than I have them, could finish 3 spots lower than I have them. I think the range of possibilities is wide, but certainly they are another one that is a college football playoff sleeper, no doubt. At number 6, speak of the devil, kind of the same thing. I've got the South Carolina Gamecocks. I'll speak on them very similarly to how I spoke on Florida. They've got a dynamic quarterback. That's where it all starts. Lenoris Sellers is maybe the most electric player, most exciting player in all of college football. They've got questions, no doubt. They've got questions defensively. You got to replace so much in that front 7. Still have a lot of talent, but you got to replace a lot. Offensively, you lost your top pass catcher from a season ago. I know you're excited about Nick Harbor, Mazeo Bennett, some other guys, but who is that number 1? You just don't know. what's the deal with this Rasul Faison thing? Admittedly, guys, if I knew right now Rasul Faison was eligible, I'd probably bump South Carolina up a spot. I really would. Again, there's going to be a lot of you confused because of where I have South Carolina in my power rankings and what I had them projected to go this season. Once again, guys, I think right now, at this very moment, South Carolina is deserving of being in this spot. Now, how do I see it playing out for them throughout this season? A little bit of a different tune I'm singing. But right now, because of what South Carolina did end of season, because of who they have as their quarterback, because I trust Shane Beamer, I've got them at number 6. We'll see if they live up to it. We'll see if they drop a few spots. But the Gamecocks, after the way they finished a season ago, I think absolutely deserving of being in this spot. They are certainly one of the most interesting teams, I think, in this conference going into the 2025 college football season. So another one, college football playoff dark horse, went 9-3 last season. Arguably should have gotten in. Does 9-3 get them in this year? I don't know. I don't know that it does. We'll see. Guys, at number 5, I've got Texas A&M. Listen, I get it. Texas 8-4, the skepticism, I totally understand. Personnel's personnel, and they've got it. I mean, I think they've got the best offensive line in the conference. I think defensively they're going to be really good yet again with Mike Elko, Torian York leading that group on the defensive side. I think Cassius Howell is going to be a breakout player at the edge spot. You know, offensively, I love Marcel Reed's game. I think he's going to take that next step this year. I think him knowing the entire offseason he is QB1, I think was a really, really big deal. It's a big year for Colin Klein, too, their OC. But I think Marcel Reed knowing that, I think that's only going to positively impact him. Casey Concepcion at the wide receiver position is going to be an electric factory. They might have the best running back room in the conference with Reuben Owens and Le'Veon Moss. And again, they've got that experienced offensive line to pave the way. So I'm not going all in saying they make the playoff, but I like this A&M roster a lot. Right now, I put them at 5. Feel really good about what they bring in a kickoff. A&M at 5 for me feels right. Number 4, I've got the LSU Tigers. So you might notice this. Since SEC Media Days, I flip-flopped Alabama and LSU. I had LSU in the 3, Bama in the 4. Now I've got LSU in the 4, and we'll get into it in a moment. I got Bama in the 3. I'm just a little bit higher on Bama now than I was at that point, even though I was really high on them. Still like this LSU team a lot. Still think they should be a double-digit win team. Still think they should be a team they absolutely should make the college football playoff this season. If they don't, they fell short of their goal. Heck, I'm picking LSU to go beat Clemson this weekend. Garrett Nussmeier getting number 18 is a big deal for me. It doesn't guarantee anything, but I think it does show you, hey, there's been some maturation there. There's been some growth. Now, does he translate it to the field? We shall see. Can he make the right decisions? Nobody's doubting the ability. Has he gotten better as a decision maker? What to do with the football? Taking care of the football? Has he risen his floor? I think defense is a question for LSU. Let's call it for what it is. You got some pieces, but interior defensive line, brand new secondary, a lot of talent, as is always down there on the Bayou. There's a lot of talent, but I think I've even got more questions right now with LSU at number 4 than I've got with Alabama at number 3. Speaking of, the Alabama Crimson Tide are my number 3 team in my power rankings. I'm buying the stock early on Ty Simpson, man. I am. I think he's a great fit for what Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb want to do. Guys, here's the thing, too. Outside of the quarterback, everything else, they are loaded. Bama's loaded. I mean, the offensive line's big, strong, physical. They should push people around. You could argue they've got the best wide receiver room in the conference. They're set at tight end. They're set at running back. Even though Jam Miller's out first couple weeks, I think that can actually help them. You get guys like Richard Young, Daniel Hill, get some of those guys, some experience. Then when Jam Miller comes back, heck, you got a loaded running back room. And then defensively, they got NFL dudes running around at all 3 levels, right? All 3 levels. D-line, linebacker, secondary, take your pick. They should be elite on the defensive side. So I've got Bama at number 3. Feel really good that Kalen DeBoer is going to have a big-time bounce back here. They feel like a college football playoff lock to me, if I'm being totally honest. They really do. Guys, at number 2, I've got the Georgia Bulldogs. Listen, I get it. Dogs are going to be barking in the comments. I totally understand it. The disrespect that Georgia fans feel because everybody's showing love to Texas. How dare they? We beat them twice last year. I totally get it. I understand. I'm not saying you're totally wrong either, but I am going Georgia at 2. I need to see it from Gunnar Stockton. I didn't think he was bad last year in the SEC title and, of course, the game against Notre Dame. Certainly, he wasn't the reason they lost the playoff game, but I want to see it from Gunnar. I want to see Georgia's offensive line pushing people around. I didn't mention that, by the way, when I was talking LSU at 4. Same question for them, right? I want to see the offensive line push people around, but especially for Georgia since we're on to them. I think you upgraded at wide receiver. Absolutely. There's no question you did. I think Nate Frazier, let's see what he is true bell cow back RB1. Defensively, hey, you don't have the star power with Georgia, but come on. It's Kirby Smart and his defense. They're going to be good. Did they get back to the quote-unquote Georgia standard? I don't know. I think they'll get closer to it, though. I think they'll take a step in the right direction. I mean, guys, they had a quote-unquote down year last year and went 10-2 and went to the SEC championship. Georgia is going to be fine. I've got them at 2, though, because at number 1, I've got the Texas Longhorns. And, guys, here's the reasoning. Here's why Texas is ahead of Georgia. Texas very well might lose to Georgia. Heck, I've got Texas losing to Georgia in Athens. That doesn't change the fact in my mind that Texas may have the best roster in all of college football. I mean, hell, they should. They spent $35 or $40 million on it. Per sources. Don't come for the jugular, Texas fans. And I don't care how much you spend. Hey, welcome to the new era of college football. Good for you. However much you spent, it might be the best roster in all of college football. They remind me of last year's Ohio State just a bit. I'm a believer in Arch Manning. I think he, listen, I don't have crazy, unrealistic expectations. I'm not expecting the kid to win the Heisman. I don't think that's, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not expecting that from him. But I think he's going to be very good. I do. I think Arch Manning is going to be very good. The running back room is fantastic with Wisner and Baxter's back from injury. The offensive line's a question. 4 new starters, right? That's something we got to figure out. Wide receiver is going to be really good. And, guys, it might be the best defense in college football. Might be the best front 7 in college football. You show me a better duo than Colin Simmons and Anthony Hill, I'll listen, but I don't know that you can find one, right? There is a question in the back end of the defense. You're replacing, I think you lost like 10 or 12 interceptions back into your defense. I love Michael Taft at safety, but that's still a bit of a question. But Texas is loaded, man. I mean, again, I think they've got the best roster in all of college football. And for that reason, they are number 1 for me in my power rankings going into kickoff. So, guys, would love to hear from you. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? How would you power rank the teams of the SEC entering week 1 of the 2025 college football season? Guys, that's going to do all for me. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in and really excited that the SEC football power rankings are back. We will be doing this on a weekly basis, talking about these, dissecting them, breaking them down every single Monday. Cannot wait to do it with you all. Guys, once again, as always, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. So next time, I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, and we will catch you all on the other side.